And yet, I felt more connected to everyone and everything that I was seeing there below me than I had remembered ever feeling when I was right in the middle of it. And I think that's because you get this really wonderful perspective on who and where we all are in space together. One of the things I think that's really neat about holidays in space is that you can actually celebrate holidays in space. And you can do it in a way that's kind of familiar to us as well.
Christmas for my family is a time where we all get together, and I will certainly miss that. But I'll certainly be able to call home and talk to everybody and wish them a happy Christmas.
From the International Space Station, we keep in pretty good touch with our families through voice over IP phone calls we can make down, and also through emails.
And we do that by communicating through a set of satellites. We had the opportunity for more frequent video conferences.
Hi Daddy, this is Sophie. I miss you already, good luck. Hi, this is Gabby. I love you forever and always.
I love you too. I love you very much.
It's just psychologically, I think it is a wonderful thing to be able to maintain that connectivity, not only for astronauts, but also for friends and loved ones on the ground.
So that whole ability to just speak to each other, it's part of what we try to do when we're, celebrating holidays as a family anyway.
There'll be more and more people that can talk about what it was like having a relative in space during Christmas. Maybe you saw Santa Claus or something like that while you were in orbit. So I think it'll be fun for, in particular, for kids. There's a lot you can do with it.
December 23rd, a Progress resupply ship docked with the International Space Station. And when I talk about my experiences and I show a video of the Progress approaching, I point out to the audience, I don't know what you see, but I see Santa's space sleigh.
Salmon, I think that's great seasoned food.
We're just excited because we saw all the Thanksgiving stuff that Nick brought in his food bob, including chocolate icing. Yeah.
The most important part of any holiday, or really anything, is having good food. As long as the crew gets good food, they can do whatever else they do.
The food preparation, people always ask me, so did you eat food out of Chief Base 2? Because some people remember back at the Mercury program or Gemini, food was a little bit more different for the astronauts.
Nowadays, the cuisine that they have too on the space station is pretty varied. They try to tailor it to exactly what you want and what your taste of. So I really like spicy stuff, really strong coffee.
And I'm a chocolate guy, I'm kind of a chocoholic. And so I had to ration my chocolate. I was getting like one Reese's peanut butter cup per day. And literally on the last day, on flight day 200, I ate my last Reese's and then came back there.
Meals provide an opportunity to get together as a full crew and share experiences. And it also brings those touches of things that are familiar and that you know from back home.
You want your turkey and your mashed potatoes and gravy and and the sweet potatoes and green beans, and we can do that in space.
Bunch of this stuff, so I hope he enjoys that, because that was his Thanksgiving dinner right there. But I'm gonna have the candy yams. They're man, they are delicious. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
When you have those traditions to kind of fall back on, I think it just helps with your mental attitude, makes you feel good, makes you have those fond memories that come back when you pull out those meals and have Thanksgiving in space, for instance.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
My favorite Thanksgiving food is the turkey and mashed potatoes and my mom's green beans. For
есть наших бонус контейнеров.
When you are in an environment like the space station, your crewmate becomes your family. As a matter of fact, Larry, I think, very accurately described us as space brothers. You do then embrace the things that are important to your colleagues.
I think there's definitely an appreciation for what somebody else might be celebrating and how they celebrate it.
Есть даже вот такие у нас американские друзья, принесли нам тоже на стол. Все-таки как праздник.
We all have different traditions of celebrating holidays, and especially the Russians.
So we're really lucky because we have a unique opportunity to celebrate Christmas twice. In December and in January, Russian Orthodox Christmas.
For the Russian Orthodox Christmas, it very much is purely a religious observance. And so, gosh, we got 2 Christmases. And in between, we have New Year's, which is a much more important holiday in Russia than it is here in the United States. The Russians use many of the symbols and the traditions that we associate with the secular observance of Christmas for observing New Year's.
Мы сейчас будем доставать игрушки, доставать всякие новогодние специальные носки для подарков, ставить елку, накрывать стол. Сейчас мы вам все это покажем.
Really cool things about having an international crew is it made the Christmas holiday 2 weeks long. It was a lot of fun.
I felt like as a crew, these were opportunities for us to celebrate even beyond whatever the actual holiday was. Just about, life and the relationship and the work we were doing together.
There is another very important aspect of being on ISS, and that's seeing the planet as a whole. And it actually reinforces, I think, that the fact that we should live as one people and strive for peace.
I remember growing up here in Florida, and a thunderstorm would pass over. And I remember thinking, oh, there's this thunderstorm, and once it's gone, nobody else is affected by it. But when you see thunderstorms and lightning from space, it's like you're looking at neurons firing. That lightning that's happening over Florida is moving across the ocean to Africa. And I remember seeing that and thinking, oh my gosh, there is not a single thing on that planet and in the whole ginormous universe that surrounds it that is not interconnected and dependent on each other in some way. That's the reality check I hope everyone gets from what we're doing every day in space together.
When we think about Thanksgiving, we think about the pilgrims coming to the New World and expanding their knowledge of their universe and making new discoveries, looking for a better life themselves. And Thanksgiving was an opportunity to be thankful for their survival at a very difficult time. And I think that maybe where we are in the space program of human space adventures, and we have setbacks, but we can solve them, and hopefully this is the start of our generation or our world learning how to live in space and expand our knowledge outside of low Earth orbit.
As we begin to fly missions, perhaps decades from now, that start bringing more international crews for longer duration to places like the Moon and Mars, I would expect holidays to kind of retain the roots that they came from, but I would expect them to evolve and morph into more of their own thing.
I would say if I were going to set up a camp on the moon, I would celebrate July 20th as, kind of the Independence Day of the moon, if you will, the first time people got there.
I can see there might be something like a Thanksgiving on the moon. Like, where was the first time that, all of the settlers came together and, had their first meal together?
And then eventually, when human beings establish, are they going to have 3 Christmases every 2 years? It'll be interesting.
I think these are kinds of things that remind us that we're actually doing human spaceflight too, and that there's humans in the loop, and the consideration for them and the way you live and survive and thrive in a place like this
home to yours, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Enjoy the day and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
David, have you seen Neil?